What's another day in the life without another groundbreaking AI advancement? And today's news headline is Devin AI. And this is claiming to be the brand new AI autonomous engineering agent that is, quote, fully autonomous AI software engineer that is going to replace coding and humans as we know it. And we're all doomed and everything's coming to a crash because Devin is here to replace us. If you haven't already, you can check out the demo where it basically goes through and shows off what Devin is and what it does. But it's basically like ChatGPT on steroids as we know it. And I thought I'd take the time today to kind of give some information and feedback about what I think this is, where it's going, and ultimately, is this going to replace coding as we know it? So one of the big things that was pointed out in the demo is this graphic right here, where it shows the real world performance of how can these chatbots fix issues on GitHub. So we have things like ChatGPT 3.5 and 4 and Llama and Claude 2, and the rates of them being able to fix errors on GitHub. And obviously we have Devin here, which has been able to fix errors 13.86% of the time, which means the other 86% of the time, it doesn't actually fix any errors, but we're coming close. You imagine over time, this number will grow. Over time, ChatGPT and all these other chatbots for that matter will just get better and better at being able to solve all these problems on GitHub. And if we take a look at the demo here, we have some really exciting demos. This guy asks Devin to build the game of life, and it goes through and it runs some shell commands. It makes some edits in the browser, it plans it out, it uses different AI agents to talk to each other, and then goes through and then makes a fully autonomous game here, and then you can even edit it in real time, and then it makes the new game, and he can play around with it and see the code and see the changes. And just by looking at it, this is really cool and really impressive. It's honestly going to change the way we program and do tasks. Another video I want to bring up is this video here, where Devin is claiming to be able to do side hustles now. So yes, instead of going to something like Upwork, you'll now just be able to go to Devin and it will be able to do whatever you want it to do there, right? So this one is able to make a computer vision model based on this GitHub repository for this little project here on Upwork, and it goes through, it uses the GitHub, and then it makes the project. It even gets some of the images to train the data sets here, and then it makes the project work, and then you can see it even does like some updating to make sure it even works, and then there's a little demo of it actually working and running the project. So it basically completed that Upwork listing in a split second just by typing in the same prompt that was given to on Upwork. So that's basically Devin in a nutshell, and has this really nice and clean UI, very similar to ChatGPT, but it's got this Devin's workspace here, which kind of is the UI of showing what's happening behind the scenes of it coding everything, right? So this is kind of the first real look of what a AI autonomous AI engineering agent looks like, right? By the looks of it, this is only going to pick up and get better and better as time goes on. But this brings me to a couple points. The first question we obviously have to answer is this going to replace coding as we know it? We all thought that coding was going to be here to stay for the last 20 years, and then AI rolls around and now it's pretty much going to be extinct in the next 3 to 4 years. I don't think coding necessarily is going to go away, but I think the way we think about coding is completely going to change. The better and better these AI tools get, the more and more access people will have to be able to create with code and build tools and build software, which I think is the real great equalizer in the great potential that AI and AI agents have to offer. Now, no one really has to know how to code or know how to do anything in order to get these AI agents to work. You literally just type in a prompt and you can get a whole SaaS application built out for you in seconds. And that's, I think, what the magic and the beauty of this is that you don't have to have a CS degree and 10 years of industry experience to build a software application. You can just ask Devin and it will make it for you. And you can test MVPs and test software faster and just get more stuff done in less time. And I think that's one of the great things about these kind of agents. And as I've been saying, it's only going to get more and more prevalent as time goes on in the next near future here. Another thing I want to mention too is that this stuff is not new and is definitely the ultimate progressive next step in the AI agent automation space, right? We've already have like ChatGPT that kind of looks very similar to this. We also have tools like AutoGen, which is basically Microsoft's version of this exact same thing here, except it's on Microsoft's own systems. If we check out the GitHub for AI agents, there's a ton of new projects that are developing from this Minds, SDB, Crew AI, E2B, Task Weaver, and all of these really cool projects here that honestly I'm probably going to check out and make some videos on that utilize AI to make some really cool projects. And they're basically basically just ChatGPT on steroids, kind of very similar to what Devin's already done. I think that the real kind of use case and why it's being talked about so much is just this UI and what it's capable of doing. This isn't really new. This is just a more polished and put together version of what this is already doing. And then when you apply it to the context of doing something like this Upwork project here, then it really becomes kind of startling. Like now we're actually at a point where these simple little AI projects that are on GitHub right here that you can run on a computer locally can now basically do what $500 in a weekend could get you anywhere in the world, right? Is coding becoming extinct? Are computer science students about to have a rude awakening? I think yes, but to an extent. I still keep going back to the idea that there's going to be people that need to figure out how to use these AI models and build the architecture and really learn how they work. That's why I think the big money and the future is when it comes to the AI and agent side of this space. Nowadays, a modern computer science student is going to need to know how all this stuff works. They may not be able to know how to code it, but at least be able to know how to prompt these AIs, get what they want, know how they work, know the fundamentals, know how to tweak them. And that's what's really going to be the crux of a computer science type role or education in the future. Yes, you'll still be able to know how to program Python, but that can all be learned through ChatGPT. You basically have ChatGPT as a guide to help you in any kind of programming issue you could ever have, right? As the AI gets better and better, it'll just be able to solve more problems for you and be able to do more things. So I think there's still going to be a need for an underlying level of knowledge on how all these systems work, but there's still going to have to be some people that go through and make sure that what's happening in the AI is actually what it needs to be happening and kind of going through and verifying that everything is checked out. I'm all for blindly following the AI, but we first got to make sure that the stuff that it's producing is actually usable. And as we've seen here, over time, it's just going to get better and better and better. And that's kind of why I'm so excited about these tools in the first place, is they're going to be able to solve more and more problems, do more and more things, and ultimately we're going to be able to build much cooler, better, and more fun and unique stuff, all on the back of these AI agents. Now, like I said, you're not going to have a 10-year degree in computer science in order to build a SaaS application. You can just type it into Devin. And at the end of the day, that kind of turns everyone into a software engineer at some level. And I think there's a lot of creativity that's going to be unlocked when these tools become super accessible and widely available. And that's partly what this channel is built off too. Kind of want to foster a community of people that want to learn these tools, build with these tools, make cool products, make money doing it, start a business, kind of wrap that all in together and fulfill out that dream that Sam Altman was talking about on how you can build a $1 billion business with like 6 people and everything else is done by AI agents, right? That's kind of like the dream of where this is all going. These are all small different pieces that add up to one larger piece of, you have an AI agent that builds out the product for you, takes user feedback, iterates on that, rebuilds the product over and over again depending on user feedback. Then you have an AI agent to scrape leads and do sales and automate phone calls and customer support. And that's all done automatically through autonomous agents that get deployed just like this. What if I could type into here, for instance, build me a SaaS application to generate leads, and then it just does it for me. And then I can even say, okay, now build me an application so I can hook all my emails up to it and send out emails. Then I can take it a step further and say, then I want to integrate a CRM. Then I want to offer some other product where I edit and manage content. And if you can do that all with chatting inside a box here, you can get really close to building companies and doing really cool things, all with inside a chatbot, not even really knowing how to code. But at the end of the day, I really do think that this whole AI autonomous engineering thing is just kind of a bit overhyped. Because to be honest, this stuff isn't new. If anything, it wasn't hyped enough when it first came out, back when ChatGPT came out and these first AI agents came out. Because this is really where the foundations of Devin come from, are these projects right here. Because all that's really happening is just 2 different open API keys with 2 different open API chats, or Mistral or Google or whatever it is, are just talking to each other and bouncing ideas back and forth between each other to land on the correct answer of whatever the prompt above them has given them. That's kind of how these things work. These AI agents are all specialized in different tasks and different things, and then they all work together with their specialties to then perform those tasks. And then in this case, they can run the code, check for errors, they can fix any errors, they can redo the code, and then if you put in a prompt to change any piece of the code, once we get better models like Gemini 1.5, it can literally read the entire project database and then go through and then edit the parts of the code it needs to based on your prompts, right? You can get really specific with these kinds of things. brings. And if anything, Devin right now is just kind of showcasing and highlighting what really is possible in practical, useful applications of AI. And how it can be alarming while it is taking over these Upwork projects here, I don't think it's necessarily scarier than it once was. If anything, I'm just as scared as I was a year ago as I am now. This is just kind of confirming me being scared. And as I keep going back to, I really do think it's just a matter of a change of what a role of a computer science person is going to be doing, as opposed to their jobs being completely eliminated altogether. So that's kind of my rough take on Devin and AI autonomous agents. Hopefully you like this ramble of me talking about AI. Like I said, I want to foster a community here of people that want to build with this stuff and create cool new projects using all these new tools. So that's kind of where I'm at with all this. So I'll see you guys in the next video.